5 on this Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. Hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. We are continuing our look at famous, well-known stories and passages in the Old Testament. Today we're up to Genesis chapter 42. We're looking at the story of Joseph's brothers going to Egypt to get food. Now we have seen the story of Joseph. We have seen the story of how he was hated by his brothers, sold into slavery, sold to Potiphar, lied on, put in prison. He interpreted dreams for the butler and the baker and was forgotten for 2 years. And then finally, the butler remembered Joseph when Pharaoh had a dream that no one else could interpret. And Joseph was then allowed to be brought into Pharaoh's company. And Pharaoh heard him interpret the dream, loved the interpretation, thought that Joseph was absolutely the most wonderful, wise, and glorious man that he could have in his kingdom, and he made him second in command. He ascended to power, signet ring, chariot, the whole 9 yards. Today we come up to now that Joseph's brothers, who sold him into slavery, are now coming to Egypt to ask for food from Joseph. They don't know it's Joseph. They don't know Joseph's in Egypt. They don't even know if Joseph is dead or alive. And to be honest, they don't really care. But here we go with the story in chapter 42. Beginning in verse 1, it says, "When Jacob saw that there was grain in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, 'Why do you look at one another?' And he said, 'Indeed, I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down to that place and buy for us there, that we may live and not die.' So Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy grain in Egypt. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers, for he said, 'Lest some calamity befall him.' And the sons of Israel went to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the famine was in the land of Canaan." Now, the reason he didn't send Benjamin is not just because he was concerned about him, but this was the only other son of his favored wife, Rachel. He loved Rachel so much and wanted to have one of her sons still with him. That's why he did not send him to Egypt. Verse 6, "Now Joseph was governor over the land, and it was he who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed down before him with their faces to the earth." Oh, wow, there we go. That dream, that prophecy years ago that Joseph had about the 10 sheaves bending over and worshiping him, 11 sheaves. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them, but he acted as a stranger to them and spoke roughly or harshly to them. He then said to them, "Where do you come from?" And they said, "From the land of Canaan to buy food." So Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Then Joseph remembered the dreams which he had dreamed about them and said to them, "You are spies. You have come to see the nakedness, the exposed parts of the land." And they said to him, "No, my lord, but your servants have come to buy food. We are all one man's sons. We are honest men. Your servants are not spies." But he said to them, "No, but you have come to see the nakedness of the land." And they said, "Your servants are 12 brothers, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And in fact, the youngest is with our father today, and one is no more." But Joseph said to them, "It is as I spoke to you, saying, 'You are spies. In this manner you shall be tested. By the life of Pharaoh you shall not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you and let them bring your brother, and you shall be kept in prison or bound in prison, that your words may be tested to see whether there is any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh surely you are spies.' So he put them all together, gathered them all together in prison 3 days. Then Joseph said to them the third day, 'Do this and live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house. But you go and carry grain for the famine of your houses. And bring your youngest brother to me, so your words will be verified, and you shall not die.' And they did so. Then they said to one another, 'We are truly guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the anguish of his soul when he pleaded with us, and we would not hear. Therefore this distress has come upon us.' And Reuben answered them, saying, 'Did I not speak to you, saying, do not sin against the boy, and you would not listen? Therefore, behold, his blood is now required of us.' But they did not know that Joseph understood them, for he spoke to them through an interpreter. And he turned himself away from them and wept. Then he returned to them again and talked with them, and he took Simeon from them and bound him before their eyes. Wow. I don't know. What is this? Is this a story of revenge? Is this a story of Joseph letting them know I'm in control and you're not? Is this Joseph's way of saying the dreams I had were true, you just didn't want to believe them? I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe it was Joseph just trying to make sure that he got to see his brother Benjamin again, or maybe he wanted to see his father again. I don't know what the causes were. I don't know what the motivation was here. All I do know is that what God told Joseph many, many years ago now had come to fruition. The things that Joseph told his brothers were from God, and they did not like it. They did not receive it, and they almost killed the dreamer. Don't kill the dream. Don't kill the dream in your life. When God gives you a dream, let it come to fruition. Trust God in spite of what you see before your eyes. I know that's been kind of a common thread throughout this, but even your enemies will eventually turn around and see that what God promised you was true. Even those who doubted you, even those who thought you were crazy, even those that said, my goodness, you become a fanatic about Jesus Christ. If I'm going to be a fanatic about anything, it's going to be about Jesus Christ. And if God gives me a dream, he will fulfill it in my days. So trust God, believe in God, know that God is working on your behalf, and never let the naysayers, never let the enemies of your soul, never let those who doubt you have the upper hand. Instead, trust God, believe in him, and know that what God promised, he will perform. And that's the word for today. Good to see several of you on with us today. I cannot call you by name. I have an appointment this evening. We have the Big Elm Retirement Center open house from 4 to 6. So I'm recording this ahead of time so I can be where I need to be this afternoon in the appointments I have. Sorry that it's not live, but please know that this is for you from me. I hope you'll spend time with God every day in the Word of God and prayer, because it is the best thing you can do all day. And it'll help you to understand that God's plans do not fail. They might not come to pass when you want them to, but they do not fail. Trust him in everything. Please know we love you and we're praying for you, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow live at